During dinner, my husband announced that his sister was coming with her 3 children, so I should give her my room and car keys. When I refused, he angrily said, "You will regret this." The next day, he called me from his office and said, "I burned your car, so enjoy walking." I laughed hard because the car she burned was actually. My name is Julie, and I'm 36 years old. I take pride in being neat and well organized. I work as an auditor for a big company, and my sharp eye for details helps me both at work and in my personal life. My friends often joke about how much I love keeping things in order, especially when it comes to money. I always keep my receipts and make sure to pay my taxes on time. But for me, these habits are important for keeping my life on track. Now, let me tell you how I met my husband, Adam. We first met at a gathering hosted by our mutual friend, Kelly. That evening, I was enjoying some wine and chatting with old college friends when Adam arrived. He was a little older than me, confident, and had a charming smile. He worked as a manager at a food sales company. "Hey, I'm Adam. Do you mind if I join you?" he asked, holding a beer and looking at me. "Sure. I'm Julie. Nice to meet you," I replied with a smile. We connected right away, bonding over our love for hiking and classic rock. A few months later, Adam invited me to a barbecue at his sister Madison's house. It was my first time meeting his family. Madison welcomed us warmly, but her kids were wild, running around, yelling and throwing toys. I felt uncomfortable with all the chaos, but Adam didn't seem to mind. He actually found their energy funny. As our relationship grew, Adam proposed to me during a beautiful hike. It was a simple but perfect moment, just the two of us standing on top of a hill with an amazing view of the valley. Our wedding was beautiful too, though not without challenges. Madison's kids were just as energetic as ever, and while Adam laughed at their antics, I quietly struggled with my frustration. After getting married, we decided it was time to buy a home and move out of our rented apartment. One evening, we sat down to go over our finances, excited to start this new journey together. With our shared love for organization and adventure, we were ready for the next chapter of our lives. I felt hopeful about our future, even though Adam's family sometimes brought challenges. As we moved forward with buying a home together, we had to figure out how to fully combine our lives. "Julie, we need to decide how to split our expenses," Adam said one evening while relaxing on the couch. "Yeah, I've been thinking about that too," I replied. "I can handle buying furniture, appliances, and some art to decorate. What about you?" Adam, who loved giving surprises, had a different idea. "How about I buy you a new car? I know your old one has been giving you trouble," he said with a kind smile. I was thrilled. My car was barely holding up, and the idea of having a reliable new one made me so happy. We started house hunting with excitement, and after a few weeks, we found a beautiful home. It was a little expensive, but we decided it was worth it. Moving in was hectic, but decorating the house was a lot of fun. I spent hours picking out stylish, good quality furniture and appliances. Not long after we settled in, Adam surprised me with a shiny, brand new sedan. "Adam, this is amazing. Thank you so much," I said, hugging him tightly, overwhelmed with happiness. Life in our new home started off great. We both did well at work and enjoyed our cozy space, but not everything was perfect. The relaxed attitude that I once found charming in Adam started to annoy me, especially when it came to household chores. One evening, after a long day, I asked him to help with the dishes. "Julie, I had a rough day. Can't wait until tomorrow?" he said, looking at me with tired eyes. "But I wanted to keep the house clean, so," I insisted. He sighed but finally agreed to help. A few months into our marriage, I started to realize that balancing love, responsibilities, and personal habits was not always easy. I started to worry that I might not be able to get pregnant. It was stressful, and even though the doctor told me to be patient, I couldn't help but feel anxious. To make things harder, Adam's sister, Madison, who lived in another state, visited often and always brought chaos with her. Every time she came over, she would unload all her marriage problems on me. "Julie, you won't believe what Jerry did this time," she would say, clearly frustrated. I tried to change the subject to get a break from all the drama, but she wouldn't stop. Her kids were just as disruptive, running around, fighting, and making a mess. After a long work week, all I wanted was some peace, but with them around, that seemed impossible. "Guys, please calm down," I would say, trying to restore some order. "Why are you always so uptight, Julie?" Madison would snap back, making things even more tense. Even with these challenges, Adam and I tried to focus on our life together. We loved our home and had big dreams, but dealing with family and personal struggles made things complicated. Every time I asked Madison's kids to behave, I felt like I was fighting a losing battle. "They're making a mess, Madison." "I just cleaned the house," I said, my patience wearing thin. Then one day, when I finally expressed my frustration, Madison fired back sharply. "Well, Maybe if you had kids of your own, you'd understand. Her words hit me hard, not just because they were cruel but because she knew about my struggles with getting pregnant. I couldn't believe Adam just stood there, saying nothing. Adam, are you really going to let her talk to me like this? I asked, my voice shaking with anger and hurt. To my shock, he just brushed it off. Julie, calm down. You're making a big deal out of nothing, he said, taking Madison's side again. It's not nothing. She insulted me in our home. I cried, my eyes filling with tears. I was at my breaking point, tired of being disrespected in my own house and hurt that my husband wouldn't stand up for me. I knew something had to change. The vase. That Tuesday, Madison showed up unannounced with her kids, saying she needed a break and was going shopping. Fine, Madison, but make it quick, I said, my stress obvious. She thanked me and rushed out, leaving me with her kids and a sinking feeling of dread. I was in the kitchen trying to make dinner. I like to cook carefully and take my time, but with the kids running around and making noise, it was impossible to focus. Can you guys keep it down? I called out, hoping for a little peace. They ignored me. A few moments later, I heard a loud crash from the living room. My heart dropped. I ran in to see what had happened. On the floor, in pieces, lay my grandfather's antique Chinese vase, shattered. My chest tightened as I took in the mess. What happened here? I demanded, my voice shaking. The kids stood frozen, guilt written all over their faces. We were just playing, one of them mumbled, avoiding my eyes. That vase was priceless. It belonged to my grandfather. Do you have any idea what you've done? I was furious. My whole body trembled with anger. Just then, Adam walked in, calm as ever, completely unaware of what was happening. What's going on? He asked. I pointed at the broken vase. Your nephews just destroyed my grandfather's vase. Look at this mess. Instead of understanding my frustration, Adam brushed it off. Calm down, Julie. It's just a vase. We can get it fixed, he said casually. His words made me even angrier. It's not just about the vase, Adam. It's about respect. Every time Madison comes over, our house turns into a disaster, and you don't seem to care. I shouted, my voice cracking from frustration. At that moment, Madison walked in, shopping bags in hand, looking annoyed by the noise. What's all the yelling about? She asked. I pointed at the broken vase. Your kids broke my grandfather's vase, Madison. Look at this mess. Instead of apologizing, she rolled her eyes. Well, maybe you should have watched them better, she said. I was stunned. Are you kidding me? They're your kids, Madison. I shouldn't have to babysit them. I snapped, my anger boiling over. Adam sighed and shook his head, looking annoyed. You're overreacting, Julie. Just drop it, he said. That was it. I had reached my limit. Overreacting? I've had enough of this. I'm tired of being treated like I don't matter in my own home. I finally stood up for myself, determined to make a change. The disrespect had gone too far, and I knew something had to change for the sake of my happiness and self-respect. Tears filled my eyes as I shouted, but Adam just stood there, silent and emotionless. Madison, on the other hand, had a smug look on her face, as if she had won. Overwhelmed with anger, hurt, and betrayal, I stormed out of the room. Dealing with Madison and her kids had already been exhausting for months, but nothing could have prepared me for what came next. The bombshell. The next morning, Adam sat at the kitchen table, casually eating his toast. Then, as if he were talking about the weather, he dropped a bombshell. Julie, I need to tell you something. Madison is getting divorced and she and the kids are moving in with us for a few months, he said. I nearly dropped my coffee. Are you serious? Our house is already crazy when they visit for just a day. How are we supposed to live with them for months? I asked, completely shocked. She's my sister, Julie. She needs our help. You need to be more understanding, he replied, looking at me like I was being unreasonable. Understanding? I've been nothing but patient. But this is too much. Why can't we rent a place for her nearby? I'll even pay for the first month's rent, I suggested, trying to stay calm. No. She'll be better off here. Plus, you can help with the kids and keep things organized, he said, as if it was the most logical solution. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm not a babysitter, Adam. I work too, and I need to rest when I come home. I argued, feeling my frustration rise. Stop being so selfish, Julie. It's family. They need us, he shot back, his tone growing sharper. I'm not being selfish. I just want a fair solution. I won't let my life be completely turned upside down, I said, my anger boiling over. Well, they're coming tomorrow evening, so you better get used to it, he declared, standing up and walking out of the kitchen. I stood there, completely stunned, my heart pounding. I felt betrayed. The next morning, still fuming from our argument, I woke up with one thought in my mind. I couldn't keep living like this. I got dressed for work and went to grab my car keys, but they were nowhere to be found. Confused, I called Adam. His voice was calm, almost too calm. I took the car. It's mine, remember? I'm giving it to Madison so she can use it for the kids, he said casually. I was stunned. You're giving my car to Madison? Are you serious right now? It's not your car, Julie. I paid for it, and she needs it more than you do. He replied like it was no big deal. That was the last straw. Adam, you've taken everything from me. And I'm done, I said, my voice shaking with anger. Julie, don't be dramatic, he scoffed, clearly not understanding how deeply hurt I was. I stood there, gripping my phone, feeling like I was trapped in a nightmare. How had things gotten this bad? I couldn't take it anymore. Calling the movers. Determined, I made a call. Hi, I need a team to move some furniture and appliances today. It's urgent, I said. A few hours later, the movers arrived. I walked them through the house, pointing at everything that needed to go. Take it all: beds, sofas, chandeliers, even the bathroom faucets. As they carried each piece out, I felt lighter. Watching the house empty gave me a strange sense of relief. I directed them to take everything to my mother's house. It was time for fresh start, free from all the stress and chaos. Once the house was cleared, I tipped the movers and thanked them. Then, I grabbed my essentials and left for my mom's place. The knock at the door. Within a few hours, my phone started buzzing over and over again. It was Adam. I ignored his calls, feeling a mix of nerves and newfound strength. That evening, there was a loud knock at my mom's door. I opened it to find Adam standing there, his face red with anger. What the hell, Julie? What did you do? He yelled, barging into the living room. I took my belongings, Adam. You took the car, so I took what I bought, I said, staying calm. This is insane. You stripped the house bare. Where are Madison and the kids supposed to sleep? He shouted. That's your problem, Adam. You made this mess, now you deal with it, I replied, crossing my arms. You're a thief, Julie. You stole everything, he accused, waving his arms wildly. I didn't steal anything, I said coolly, pulling out a folder. Here are the receipts. I handed him the proof of purchase for every single item. He flipped through them, his anger turning into frustration. Fine, Julie. If this is how you want to play it, I'll file for divorce, he snapped. I took a deep breath. And handed him a stack of papers. Already done. Here are the divorce papers. Sign them and we're finished, I said firmly. Adam looked at the papers, his face turning pale. You're really serious about this, aren't you? He asked. Dead serious, Adam. I deserve better than this, I replied, feeling a strange sense of calm wash over me. Without another word, he pulled a pen from his pocket, signed the papers, and handed them back to me. Fine, Julie. Have it your way, he muttered. I watched as he turned and walked out of my mom's house, slamming the door behind him. I stood still for a moment, feeling both relieved and sad at the same time. It's over. It was over, and deep down, I knew I had made the right decision. That night, I sat down with my mom and told her everything that had happened. She listened patiently, then gave me a reassuring hug. Julie, you've been through so much. It's time to focus on you and your happiness, she said kindly. Thanks, Mom. I just need some time to figure things out, I replied, feeling a huge weight lift off my shoulders. Over the next few days, I started adjusting to my new life, organizing my space at my mom's house and thinking about what came next. It was a fresh start, and for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. I knew things wouldn't be easy, but I was ready. I had taken back control of my life, and there was no turning back. Moving forward, after the divorce, Adam and I sold our house and split the money. I decided it was time to find my own place. One afternoon, while sitting in the kitchen with my mom, I scrolled through apartment listings on my laptop. Mom, I think I found the perfect place. It's a small apartment downtown, close to work, I said, showing her the pictures. She leaned over my shoulder and smiled. That looks nice, Julie. Have you called the realtor yet? Not yet, I said, feeling excited about taking this next step. All right, I'm doing this now, I told myself, a flutter of excitement in my stomach. I picked up my phone, dialed the number, and waited. After a few rings, a warm voice answered. Hello, this is Brandon. How may I assist you today? Hi, Brandon. My name is Julie. I saw your listing for the downtown apartment. Is it still available? I crossed my fingers under the table and asked, is it still available? Yes, it's still on the market. Would you like to come see it? Brandon's voice sounded hopeful. That would be perfect. How about tomorrow afternoon? I try to keep my voice steady. That works for me. Let's meet at 5 p.m. Brandon confirmed. We ended the call, and the next day, I was downtown, ready to meet him and see the apartment. Brandon was standing outside the building, his smile warm and welcoming. Hi, Julie. Great to meet you. Let's take a tour, he said, offering a handshake. The apartment was small but cozy, with a neat kitchen, a spacious living room, and a small balcony that had a lovely view of the city skyline. This place is perfect, Brandon. I'll take it, I said, feeling a wave of relief. Moving day. After signing the lease and getting the keys, I started planning my move. The next few days were busy with packing at my mom's house and arranging for movers. On moving day, my mom and a few friends helped load the last box into the truck. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness about this fresh start. Julie, this is a wonderful new beginning for you, my mom said, giving me a hug. Thanks, Mom. I'm looking forward to making this place my own, I replied with a smile. We drove to my new apartment, and with everyone's help, we quickly unpacked and set things up. As I looked around my new home, I felt proud and at peace. It was the start of something new, and I was ready. Dinner with friends. That evening, I invited my mom and friends over for dinner to celebrate. We sat on the floor among boxes, eating pizza and laughing. To Julie and her new adventure, my friend Kelly toasted, raising her soda. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate all the support, I said, feeling truly grateful. As the night went on, we shared stories and laughed, and for the first time in a long while, I felt genuinely happy. Later, I sat on my balcony, gazing at the city lights, thinking about how far I had come. I was proud of myself for taking control of my life. Through friends, I heard that Adam had used his share of our savings to buy a small apartment. He was now living there with Madison and her 4 kids, struggling to keep up with expenses while working 4 jobs. Madison and he were constantly arguing. Unexpected call. One day, out of nowhere, my phone rang. I glanced at the screen. Adam? I was surprised but couldn't ignore my curiosity. Hello, Adam. What's up? I asked, keeping my tone neutral. Julie, please just hear me out, he said, his voice sounding desperate. I know I messed up, and I'm so sorry for everything, Adam said. As I listened, I realized how much I had grown. My life was different now, full of new beginnings and positive changes. I never really understood what you were going through until now, he admitted. Seeing how difficult it is with Madison's kids, I finally get it. I let out a small chuckle. Really, Adam? It took you this long to figure that out? I asked, shaking my head in disbelief. I know it's late, but I mean it. I've done a lot of thinking, and I miss you. I miss us. Can we start fresh? I'll move into your place and make things right, he said, his voice full of hope. I laughed. I couldn't help but laugh, shaking my head. Adam, you can't be serious. You think you can just walk back into my life, like nothing ever happened? Julie, I mean it. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll even take on extra work to make it up to you, he insisted, sounding desperate. I sighed, feeling both pity and frustration. Adam, I've moved on. I'm happy now, and I don't want to go back to that chaos, I said firmly. Come on, Julie. We can make it work this time. I've changed, he pleaded. Adam, it's over, I said, my voice calm but firm. You need to focus on your own life and your family. I'm not interested in going back to that mess. Julie, please, I'm begging you, he said, his voice breaking. Adam, no. I've found peace without you, and I'm not giving that up, I said, standing my ground. I took a deep breath. Take care, Adam. I hope you find your way. Then, I hung up. I felt a wave of relief. This was closure, the final break from a life I had worked hard to leave behind. No matter how much Adam was struggling, I couldn't let him drag me back into something I had fought to escape. Coffee with Kelly. Later that day, I met Kelly for coffee and shared what had happened. You won't believe who called me today, I said, rolling my eyes. Kelly raised an eyebrow. Who? Adam. He begged me to take him back and let him move into my apartment, I said, shaking my head. Kelly nearly choked on her coffee as she burst into laughter. Are you serious? What did you say? I told him no, of course. I'm not going back to that disaster, I said, smiling. We spent the afternoon chatting and laughing, and it hit me how much I had grown, how far I had come. I was free. I had built a new life for myself, one filled with peace and happiness. I was determined not to let anyone disturb that. As I walked home, a deep sense of relief and closure filled me. I had finally moved on from that part of my life, ready to step forward with confidence and joy.